Hello, everyone, and happy holidays. I'm David Riggleman, Communications Director for the City of Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us for Access City Council. We have a great show for you ahead today. Legendary film icon and master of horror John Carpenter is honored by the City Council. We're going to hear about that. And some Sun City veterans are recognized for their service to our country. To talk more about all this, I'm joined by the Ward 4 City Councilman Stavros Anthony. Welcome back to the show. It's good to see you.
Absolutely. It's been a busy 6 weeks, and it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, if you're watching this today on Thanksgiving or over the weekend, hope you're having a great Thanksgiving and you ate a lot of turkey.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you doing? Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I know that you always have a Thanksgiving kind of a message for everybody out there every year, I know, too.
Thanksgiving is really a couple of things. Number one is it's just all about your family. Everything gets set aside and you take care of your family. It's a time to gather around the table and eat and get caught up, whether it's people from out of town that are staying with you or staying at a hotel or people that live here. It's just a great time to just, spend some time with your family and just not worry about anything else except the food and who's going to win the football game that day.
That's right, the most important stuff,
yeah,
right?
And, you sit around and give thanks for everything that happened that was positive in the last year. I mean, that's all we can do, and it's a good time.
You're a grandfather now, so I know you've got some extra mouths around the table these days. So.
Yes, it's good to have a 1-year-old around to throw food everywhere on the floor, and it's good to have a couple of dogs to pick it all up and eat it.
True.
So it all works out great.
It's a good relationship there, exactly right.
I hope everyone's doing that. I hope everyone's being able to spend some time with their family and enjoy these days and give thanks to God for everything that's been good to you. So that's what we do.
All right. Well, thanks, Councilman. Appreciate that. I know you always like to get that message out each year. I think we'll tell everybody where Ward 4 is located. We have a lot to talk about today. You know it like the back of your hand. For those that aren't familiar, it's basically out in the northwest, west of the 95, north of Summerlin Parkway, roughly. If you live in that area, work in that area, then you are in the city limits of the city of Las Vegas. And in Ward 4 specifically, you're represented by Stavros Anthony. And one of the things I know that you love the most out there every year is the Mayor's Cup Soccer Tournament. We do this a couple times a year. Young kids in the fall, older kids in the spring. Huge soccer tournament that come from all over the world to play here in Las Vegas. You're also a master of social media. You tweeted this out, congratulating some great first and second place soccer winners in the Las Vegas Mayor's Cup at Betty Wilson Park in Ward 4. And I know one thing that's really great is a lot of the kids that were big winners were local kids.
Yeah, I mean, we had, what a huge weekend. We had over 500 teams from all over the United States, from all over the world. Right. Canada and Mexico was here, and you're watching these 6, 12, 14-year-old kids just out there playing their hearts out, and these are really good soccer players. And we ended up, local Las Vegas teams took first place in 20 divisions.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, that's it's the most I remember.
Exactly.
And it took a while between myself and Mayor Goodman to hand out the trophies and the medals. We had to be there a while to do that, but it's just great seeing the talent that here from these kids playing soccer, and we just got this minor league soccer team.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Lights FC.
Yeah, they're starting up here, so soccer is really starting to develop here in Las Vegas, and that's great to see.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, Councilman. You mentioned we showed, we're showing the students here, the kids from the local club teams that were first and second place winners. But it's interesting. Years ago, we might have 1 or 2 teams that did pretty well, maybe 3 or 4. But that's really grown now. Obviously, Las Vegas has become a lot more competitive when it comes to soccer.
Right. And if you want to take time to pull up the video from our last City Council meeting, you'll see the 20 teams there in council chambers, and we're recognizing them, and we're bringing them down, and they're taking a picture with the City Council, and they're getting certificates from my office for every single player with their name on it.
You'll see them all.
And it was packed. It was packed with soccer players, and it's good to see these young kids that are, they're fit and they're going to school, and they're going to be the future leaders of this this city and this country. So it was good to honor them, and I knew they were excited to come down and take a picture with the City Council.
All right. Well, speaking of ceremonial items at Council, one of the things you did here recently back in October, at the October 18th City Council meeting, you recognized Sarah Winnemucca. Sarah Winnemucca is kind of really an icon of our state. In fact, each state is allowed 2 statues in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. And for Nevada, Sarah Winnemucca statue is one of them, right?
And the Nevada legislature recently honored Sarah Winnemucca with a Nevada Day, and recently the Nevada State Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution contacted me and said, would you help us honor Sarah Winnemucca at a city council meeting? And that's what we did. So we came together, and I issued them a proclamation, and the Society of Daughters of the American Revolution came down, and we talked about Sarah Winnemucca. And if I could just take a minute to kind of give her history, it's really interesting.
For those who don't know, for sure.
Sarah Winnemucca was born in 1844 in the western Nevada Humboldt Lake, where her grandfather was chief of the Paiute Nation tribe. At the age of 13, Sarah and her sister Elma were sent to live and work in William Ormsby household. He was a civic leader and owned a hotel in Carson City, Nevada. There, Sarah had a chance to improve her English and learn more about European American ways. She began to be more comfortable going back and forth between Paiute and American culture and learned to communicate in 5 different languages.
Really?
She was one of the few Paiutes at that time who knew how to read and write English. Sarah Winnemucca spent much of her life negotiating between the 2 conflicting cultures to promote understanding and to get a better treatment for her people. She later served as a translator for the Armed Forces of the United States, at one time addressing President Rutherford B. Hayes and the Secretary of Interior, Carl Schultz, about the plight of the Paiute tribe. In 1883, Sarah delivered nearly 300 lectures throughout major cities of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, seeking to raise awareness of the injustices against Native Americans and to dramatize the harshness of life for people confined to a reservation. So what an amazing story for somebody like that. And a native Nevadan, and yes, and you're right, we honor her with a statue and a Nevada Day and a City of Las Vegas Day. And it was really kind of neat to, I could tell people were really interested to learn about her and what her background was.
We have a replica of the statue in Washington, D.C. here at City Hall. It's on display, much smaller. It's not the huge one that's in D.C., but we have it here at City Hall. If people want to see that, you get a smaller version, but you get the gist of what it looks like.
So yeah, that was fun, and thank you to the Daughters of American Revolution to bringing that to our attention and allowing us to do that.
It was a good history lesson there, too. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It was good stuff. Councilman, you're very active on social media. In fact, you're a wizard at it these days, and you're always tweeting good stuff. You tweeted this out recently: getting ready for installation ceremony for the Marc Kahre Elementary School Student Council and officers honored to be the guest speaker. And I know this is special because Marc Kahre was a police officer who you knew, who was killed in the line of duty, and the school was named after him.
Yeah, this is an important school to me, and the Principal McLaughlin, knows that, and she invites me to just about everything they do at that school. And this was they have their own student council at this elementary school, so they have an election, and the kids pick their student council. They pick the officers. So I was there giving them a little speech on leadership and how they need to represent the students and how they're responsible and accountable for what they do. And then they all raised their right hand, and I swore them in as president and vice president, and swore on the board. It was this is official business. I mean, they take this stuff seriously. So
they do out there.
Fun to be there.
Yeah, they do, and I think the elected officers out there have duties that they have to perform, just like you do in real life. So. And
I asked them all which one's going to be on the Las Vegas City Council, and they all raised their hand at the same time.
All right, there you go. It's a
it
good
was
thing.
Fun, yeah.
You'll be out of the way. You'll have a lot of competition coming in the future. So. And then, Councilman, this is something I thought was really cool because of the iconic movies. You tweeted this out: presenting a proclamation on Fremont Street to film icon John Carpenter, who's been scaring the heck out of us with Halloween, The Thing, etc. over this. I mean, John Carpenter is the epitome of horror, at least back in our younger days. So there he is. So why was he here in town? What was the story?
You know, it was Halloween, and Paul Casey was honoring John Carpenter for movies like The Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, Vampires, The Thing, Ghost of Mars. And he called me up and said, hey, we're doing this special thing for John on Fremont Street that we're going to have the stage set up and all kinds of decorations, and can you come out and give him a proclamation and meet him? And that was pretty cool. I mean, everybody's heard of John Carpenter, but nobody obviously knows what he looks like that much because he's not in any of his movies.
Yeah, right. He's
so,
just, yeah.
So you got to see what he looks like there. I got to shake his hand and thank him for scaring us for the last 30 years and give him a proclamation, and it was a lot of fun. He's an interesting guy.
Is he still? Does he have movies on the forefront that are coming out, or is he kind of retired now?
Not that I heard. Not that I heard. He's actually a musician too. He was doing a concert here while he was in town. He doesn't live here. He came in just for Halloween, because when you think of Halloween, you think of vampires and Frankenstein and John Carpenter. So it was neat to meet somebody, like you said, an icon of scary movies. That was pretty fascinating.
You know, his movies, just a little trivia aside, is that one of the reasons that his movies, and he was so important in Hollywood, is that his movies were relatively low budget, but they made a lot of money, and so that's a great combination. The movie companies love that, right? And that's what his movies did. They didn't cost a lot to make, but they made a lot of money, and so.
And I told him I had actually watched Halloween like a week before, and I told him, there's like 10 different places where you think somebody's going to get killed and they don't. And then all of a sudden, when it happens, you jump out of your seat because you weren't expecting it to happen at that time. So he's the guy knows how to scare people.
Now that's the one with Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's the original one. Yeah, I remember seeing that. I saw that in the movie theater years ago, and people were freaking out.
Right.
They were really freaking out. One thing about that is because it was a little bit low budget. And sorry, John, if you're watching, it was supposed to be Halloween, but the trees were all green.
Right.
They obviously shot it in the summertime. But anyway, that aside,
you're the only one who noticed that,
David. It just seemed like it wasn't exactly fallish. But anyway, that movie just launched her career, Jamie Lee Curtis' career, and set John Carpenter up for a long time after that. So. Councilman, speaking of Halloween, you had a great trunk or treat event out at the YMCA. This was on October 20th. Good stuff out here. Great turnout. I think that's some of your staff, Sally and Becky.
That's Sally and Becky, yeah. It was unbelievable turnout. It seems like more kids are going to these trunk or treat events than actually going home to home. Because I think parents feel a little bit safer having their kids at an event like this. But everybody was having a great time. We handed out a ton of candy. The kids were dressed up, having a lot of fun. It was a great turnout, and thanks to the YMCA for helping me put this together.
That was on October 20th, and then the very next night, October 21st, there was another event out at Police Memorial Park. This was also, I think, a movie in the park too. Didn't you guys have
Ghostbusters?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, there was a very good turnout. We had a dance crew out there to kind of warm up the kids. They were all dressed up in their costumes. We had the stage was out there with all our great tech guys that work for the city of Las Vegas.
Did a super job, yeah.
And we had food trucks, and we gave out some raffle prizes, and people were just, it was great watching people talk to their neighbors and find out who they were, and all the kids were dressed up. It was it's
princess there. It's definitely a princess.
It's fun when we have events like this in the park, because people really get to sit down and chat with each other. And they're all waiting in line, waiting for the raffle tickets. And the kids were pretty good dancers. And then once the whole thing was over, we showed Ghostbusters. Quite a few people stuck around to watch the movie, and I got to say hi to everyone and meet everyone personally and let them know I'm their city councilman, and kind of learn from their viewpoint what's going on in the city of Las Vegas.
Got to make you feel good. We have those events, and boy, that's a big turnout and all that stuff.
This was a really good turnout. It was a beautiful night out.
Yeah, gorgeous.
No reason to stay home. Come out and watch a movie in the park, and you know what? It's all for free.
Yeah,
they
can't
cost
beat
you
that.
a dime.
And it was a classic too, Ghostbusters. Speaking of classic movies, so Councilman, then that brought us right into Veterans Day. We go from Halloween to Veterans Day, and you honored some vets out at Sun City. You tweeted this out: honored to recognize our Sun City Summerlin military veterans with the Certificate of Appreciation from the Las Vegas City Council. Thank you for your service. I think some of these folks, you got some World War II folks in there, right?
Yeah, this is something I started about 5 years ago with Sun City, the Residents Forum, and I love doing this because we have people coming out from World War II, from the Korean War, from the Vietnam War, from in between those wars, and that's Bill from World War II.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. And the great thing is we have a guest speaker come out, but I get to meet every single one of them. I give them a certificate of appreciation, a City of Las Vegas pin. I thank them for their service, get to shake their hands, and once that's all over with, we have some apple pie and some ice cream, and they all get to talk to each other. The Vietnam veterans talk to the World War II veterans, and the Korean veterans talk to the other ones, and it's I just enjoy meeting these guys. I mean, these are the men and women that serve this country and put their life on the line to defend our freedoms. We actually have widows that come out. Their spouses have passed away, and we want them to come out and let them know we appreciate what they did. So it's a great night. I just really like meeting and talking to these folks.
Well, those World War II vets, too, are getting up there, too. They've got to be into their 90s now, at least. So.
Yeah, every year there's less and less of them that are showing up. 5 years ago, I may have had 10. I think I had 3 at this event. So, yeah, it's getting up there. But, I mean, Bill was, I didn't ask him what his age was. Obviously, he's up there, and he was still talking and telling me where he was and what he did over in Germany.
He was in Germany.
He was at the Battle of the Bulge. I mean, it's just, I could have spent 3-4 hours talking to this gentleman. So it's and they appreciate it. They like getting together and kind of commiserating a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. It's history to us. It was their lives to them, and so yeah, good for you for recognizing them, and they definitely deserve the honor of our country for sure. A lot of debt of gratitude owed to them. And speaking of which, you had a Veterans Hoedown. This took place back on Friday, November 17th. Again, a way to honor veterans, to say thanks for all the great stuff you've done for us.
Yeah, this is, again, a partnership with the YMCA over at the Durango Hills YMCA, and we get together and kind of have a little fun. We have it's a hoedown, we have barbecue, we do some square dancing. The people out there just having a great time. Again, they meet with each other, and then we're trying to raise awareness for the veterans that are in our community, let them know we appreciate what they did. So just another way to show these men and women that we thank them for the service.
Yeah, absolutely. Debt of gratitude to all of them. They protect our freedom, and as you showed, with all the different conflicts we've had over the years, these guys have been out there putting their lives on the line for the rest of us. So. And then, Councilman, it wouldn't be an Access City Council show from Ward 4 without a Sun City shredding event. Some kind of shredding event from somewhere. These are iconic. You started these, and it's spread like wildfire across the city. This is from October 21, but I think maybe it's because of tax season, whatever it is. I don't know, whatever it might be. You got these rolling, and people come out in droves to get rid of their old documents. They're definitely not going to be victims of identity theft.
No, and this, I do two shredding events in Sun City, and there must be a couple 300 cars that come through there.
That's amazing.
It's these are folks that have been saving documents for a long time, and they finally realize they don't need them anymore. They don't need to keep them, and people realize that at different times in their lives, and they're standing in line or in their car. They're actually not standing; they're in their car around 8 o'clock or so, and we kick it off at 10, and they really appreciate it. I mean, they say thank you for helping me do this, because I have 5 boxes, and you can't do it in a little shredder because you'll break it. So they're very thankful, and again, I get to meet with them and chat with them, and they get to know who their councilman is, and let me know about any other issues happening in the city of Las Vegas or in Sun City. So it's a big event. And then we also do a hazardous waste materials event in Sun City, which will be coming up here pretty soon. People can get rid of their paint and batteries, and Republic Services does a great job coming out and collecting all that stuff so we can dispose of it safely.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think, too, people that may not know, Councilman Anthony, 29 years with Metro, retired as a captain. One of the units he was in charge of dealt with identity theft, and it's devastating. Yeah,
that was my last assignment as a captain, and I mean, the number of cases were just overwhelming, overwhelming the number of cases. This was 10 years ago, so identity theft today is probably more on the internet, web-based, but it's still done by people that dumpster dive looking for financial documents, and they can steal your identity. So do not throw that stuff in the trash. You have to shred it. So call my office and we'll let you know. Even if you don't live in Sun City, Summerlin, we absolutely invite you to come out and get rid of that stuff.
Well, because of Councilman Anthony, we've now got shredding events in every ward.
Yes, we do.
So there's always one going on. We'll tell you when it is.
Call any of the wards and you'll figure out what the
there's
next
one
is.
near to you, we promise. So no problem there.
I guess that's my legacy at the City of Las Vegas.
Hey, it's a good legacy. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to start for sure. Saved a lot of people from a lot of terrible, being a victim of crime. So we don't want that to happen to anyone for sure. Councilman, some events coming up. Let's talk about this. We're heading into December. It's the holidays. It's Christmas time again, and you've got a cookie and decorating holiday movie event coming up. Now, this is an iconic TV show. It's really not a movie. It's a TV show. It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We've all seen this. It's awesome. 6 o'clock at Durango Hills Community Center there at the Y. This is going to be on December 15th.
And this is a classic. If this is a good time to get away from all the high-tech movie stuff. This was the original one when you and I were watching it as a little kid.
Exactly.
So it's a great one to watch just to see how the movies were back then. But it's actually a great movie. And please come out. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can enjoy your family and kind of meet other families at the Durango Y. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think originally that came out in 1964, I think, 63, 64. So it's getting up there, but it still never goes out of style, that's for sure. So that's going to be on December 15th. Then you also are going to have an event. This is moving into the new year, 2018, if you can believe it. A Coffee with the Cops is going to take place at the Cracked Egg on January 8th. This is just kind of an opportunity to meet the law enforcement folks that patrol your area, right?
Yeah, we've had a couple of these already, and we have some Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department officers there. We have our own deputy marshals at this event. I'm there, my staff is there, and it's a good time to come out and have a cup of coffee and talk with me about any issues going on in the city of Las Vegas. Talk to your police officers, let them know about any crime or public nuisance issues that are happening, and you get to meet your police officers that kind of patrol that area. So we've had some good turnout so far in the first couple, and people appreciate their law enforcement officers, and a lot of them just come out just to want to say, hey, thank you for what you do, and just wanted to stop in and say that, and others have actual issues that they want to talk about. So please come out and talk to me and talk to the officers. We'd be glad to sit down and find out what your situation is. January
8th, Cracked Egg there on Cheyenne. And then also in January, coming up, you have a Ward 4 Health Fair. This is going to take place January 20th out at the YMCA again there at Durango Hills. What is this all about, Councilman? Is it get like screening of different things, ear tests, eye tests, that kind of thing?
All kinds of stuff. Yeah. The Y is actually the one who sets it up, and we partner with them and advertise it. But there'll be all kinds of organizations out there to help you talk about getting fit, and obviously it's at the YMCA, so we'd like you to take a look at actually joining that facility and coming out, working out. It's a great place to exercise. They have a fitness center, they have aerobics instructors, and we'll have a lot of professionals out there to help get you started with answering some of the questions that you may have that you haven't had a chance to talk to your doctor with. But obviously all medical issues you need to really go through your doctor, but this is a great way to kind of get your mind thinking about some of the things that you need to do. Councilman,
for those who don't know, the YMCA, the facility is owned by the city, but it's operated by the Y. So it's a partnership between the two. Centennial Hills out in Ward 6, same setup. And to join, too, people think, I think sometimes they think it's very expensive to be able to use the facility. It's not. You can pay even just a few dollars just if you just want to go for the day. So.
Yeah, it is a great partnership we've set up. And it's in your neighborhood. It's probably not that far from your house. So come on out that day. The place will be open. You can take a look at it and give you tours of the place, talk to some medical professionals, and we're going to have some raffles and prizes. And again, it's all free of charge. It's not going to cost you anything.
January 20th, that's a Saturday from 10 to noon that day. So, hey, a lot of stuff to talk about today. Can't believe it.
Yeah, we're going into the holidays,
Here we
so I want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, and I know there's a lot of stuff happening in the
next time I'll see you on this
6
show,
weeks.
it'll be 2018.
2018,
so
yeah.
it's flying by, as it always does.
And as always, please be careful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things going on with your family and driving and having a couple of cocktails and things like that. So just be careful during the holidays.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a time to rejoice and think about all the great things in your life, and we don't want something to happen that's going to ruin all that.
Here, couldn't agree more. Well, Councilman, we're about out of time. We always want to hear from you, so if there's something you'd like to share with Councilman Anthony, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. As you saw, he's very active. And if you leave a comment, we could use one of your comments or posts on one of our next shows. We'd love to hear from you. You can also contact the councilman at 702-229-6405. We still use those around here. And you can send him an email. His address is santhony@lasvegasnevada.gov. All right, well, great job. And we'll see you in 2018. See you next year, as we used to say.
2018, and we're going to do a lot of stuff next year for our residents in the city of Las Vegas.
Sounds good. Thanks, Councilman. Have a great holiday season. And we want to thank you for joining us for this edition of Access City Council. Don't miss our next show beginning on November 30th with Ward 2 City Councilman Steve Soroka. And don't forget, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.